Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today we're going to find out, we're going to talk to you about how you should run your business. So basically, if you look at the title of the video, we're talking about being a cheap ass. Don't be a cheap ass. Let me give you an example, being a cheap ass. If you're going to give somebody $10, don't give them one of these. Give them one of these, because this is actually $10 and this is only about $7.50. Plus, this has got Alexander Hamilton, a dude who had a massive play about him, and this has got Sir John A. MacDonald, a guy who had a song about a farm. Old MacDonald had a farm, written about him. E-I-E-I-O. It also has a train, because apparently there's no planes in Canada. Anyway, sorry, Canadian friends, I had to pick on you a little bit. Don't be a cheap ass. Don't pay. Don't try to skimp. That's my point. You know, if you were using $10 Canadian instead of $10 American in this case, $7.50 instead of $10, you're skimping a little bit, right? Don't skimp. Let me talk about what we're talking about. Everybody hates the word I'm going to write on this. This is a bad word in a lot of the reptile market. You ready? PayPal. Everybody hates PayPal. I like PayPal. PayPal's been good to me. Let me tell you why people hate PayPal. There was this whole thing. They're going to lock up your account. They're going to do this. They locked all my money. Let me tell you why that happens. How many times has happened to you when you're buying a snake? Hey, can you pay friends and family? Right? Hey, can you just pay friends and family? Don't do that. When people ask me all the time when they're buying a snake, they'll go, and let me tell you why. Why do people say that? It's about, I don't know, 2.5% or something like that. They're going to charge the seller a percentage of that transaction. Maybe it's 3%. I don't even pay attention on that money. Okay? You're going to lose. So basically, if I sell something for $100 and somebody pays me through PayPal and they don't pay me friends and family, I'm only going to get like $97.50. It's $2.50. Don't be a cheap ass. Don't be a cheap ass. So when I tell people, hey, people ask me, well, how do you want me to pay you? You know, because some people want me to pay friends. I hear it all the time. I say, pay me however you want. I don't care. Yeah, if you pay me the normal way, I've built that into my pricing already. It's fine. Pay me the normal way that makes you comfortable. And you know what? Because most of my payments come through not friends and family, guess whose account's never been locked? Hi. Because that's how PayPal makes a living. So they're going to lock your account if you're conducting business and using them as part of that business conducting bank and aren't doing that.
I have a question, though.
What's your question, Kurt? Damn, that was early, man. An early question.
What if all of your customers are your friends and family?
Oh, man. That's why it's okay if somebody pays friends and family on occasion. But don't ask for it. To me, this is just to me, and I get it, you know, we all do it when we're new, and it's something I wish I would have never tried to convince people to do. I did when I was new too. So if you've done this, I'm not trying to call you out or say you suck or anything like that. I'm just trying to give you a different way of thinking, because it took me a while to figure that out too. You don't ask for it. You just never ask for it. Ever. It just sounds, as a customer, when somebody's like, hey man, it kind of makes it sound like, you know, you really need that 2.5%, right? If I go into Walmart and I buy some shit, or Target or Starbucks or wherever, they're not usually like, oh, hey, can you make sure and run your card this way? Because it'll save us a little bit of a percentage. They don't fucking care as long as you pay them. What I'm going to tell you is you need to be more like that. Don't care as long as you get paid. Same with the use accept credit card. We got a card reader. It's right here. Guess whose card reader it is? Funny. It says PayPal on it. I don't care what brand you use, you know, they're going to charge a percentage. They are. It's going to happen. Obviously, cash is awesome, right? When somebody wants to pay cash, we all love that. It's just easy, it's clean, money goes into your hand, snake goes in theirs, problem's over. For all you guys selling the internet, it ain't going to be a lot of cash. That's why those PayPal accounts were getting locked. A lot of it was people who were conducting business on a website, just like their own website or a Morph Market. And it was always the same thing. It was always, pay friends and family. With the vast majority of the transactions, that's going to get your shit locked up. It's going to hurt a lot more than it's ever going to save. Same with the credit card. It'll tell you don't run your credit card. Pay through this service, whether it's one of the free services or whatnot. Oh, and make sure and do it the free way. Just eat the charge. You're a business. This is a business expense. Eat the fucking charge. Don't get wrapped up into trying to like skimp on that 2.5%. It's just going to be kind of cheap. If somebody wants to pay by credit card at the show, cool, man. Put in the credit card. This is going to hurt me more than PayPal is. I don't go, oh, well, you know what? Tell you what, man, I'd rather you just PayPal me and do it with friends and family because I'll save. I've seen that done. Most people with a card reader, they'll just let them use the card. If they're going to pay cash, that's great. But I'm not like, oh, hey, would you mind paying cash? When somebody wants to buy that snake, they're like, yeah, I want that one right there. So it's a $500 snake. I'll go, okay, man, do you want to pay cash or card? And they'll go, whichever way. Cool. They say card. We get the card reader out. We hook it to the phone. I make sure it's working. They stick the little card in there. It goes through. I say, thank you. Have a nice day. Put it in a bag. Give them their sales receipt sheet. Text them the receipt and go on about the business. Done. I got paid. I'm happy. Did I get the full 500? No, I probably got like 490 or 485 or some shit. Don't care. It's fine. If they're paying in cash, they give me cash. Same thing happens. Still happy. Don't get wrapped up in being a cheap ass on things like that. Just run your business like a legit business. Let me ask you this. As a customer, okay? Let's say you're a customer and you go to a show or you contact a seller online. It doesn't fucking matter which one, right? And you go, hey man, I want to buy this snake. And you're spending $1,000. $1,000 on that snake. Okay? The seller goes, yeah, that's cool. But can you make sure and pay me friends and family? Or he goes, oh man, I see you got a card. I'll tell you what, would you mind going out to the ATM and getting cash? How does that make you feel about your $1,000, your investment that you're about to make? Does that inspire confidence in that business? That business is going to be there tomorrow and next month if you have a problem? Or does that chip away a little bit at that confidence of like, wow, man, that's kind of like really kind of almost not really, it's not shady. I know why people do it, but it feels that way, right? So what I'm telling you, you business owners, just don't do that. Just take your money, however it comes, pay your fee, be happy. If that fee is really the difference in you making money and not making money, then your prices are slightly too low. And what you would do to do that is you would increase everything by about 5%. And then you would negotiate or discount for cash by that same 5%. Now, if you want to say, hey, we have a standard across the board, 5% discount for cash. And if somebody goes, oh man, why do you do that? Be like, because of the damn card fees and cash is just easier. People will understand that more than they ever will. Gas stations do that. Other places have done that more than they ever will, going, hey, can you make sure and pay me this way so I don't get eaten up on fees? I try to get paid whatever way my customer wants to pay. I've even had to download other apps I didn't know how to use because I'm a technology challenged individual in order to get paid through things like Venmo because there are people who quit using PayPal. So I'm like, yeah, I use PayPal. Well, I don't have how to use Venmo. Well, fuck, let me go set it up. If that's how you want to pay me. Cool, I don't care. I want to get paid. So just take the money however it comes and don't be a cheap ass about it. And again, think about yourself always as a customer. What would inspire more confidence? The guy who's going to, because here's what happens, y'all. Here's what happens. I want you to think about this. Think about people you know, okay, in life who aren't necessarily ball python breeders, okay? Just people in general. You know what I mean? And I'm a cheap son of a bitch in general, okay? My wife's we fucking cut coupons. We participate in charity restaurant auctions because you get gift cards for a lot cheaper. We do all those things to make our money go further than it normally does. I am the definition of a cheap ass in my day-to-day life. I want to take my $5 and turn it into 10 and take my 10 and turn it into 20 as much as I can to get more value for my money because inflation's a bitch and shit's expensive. But when it comes to my business, I don't. Here's the reasoning. When you go and you have that guy who's trying to save that $1.50, okay, on a fee. That's what we're talking about, right? A small amount of money here. Is that guy more likely to skimp on shipping? And maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But in your brain, is this not the guy that you think, man, that guy's being cheap? He's going to try to be cheap here. Is he going to skimp on food? On care? On all those things. So when you're asking to save that $1.50 by making your customer pay a certain way or jump through a hoop, you're telling your customer, hey, I'm going to do all these things as cheap as possible. Now, is that okay to do? Should you skimp on shipping? Should you skimp on food? Should you skimp on care? To a point, yes. And you're going to say, whoa, whoa. But you don't want to appear that you're going to be skimping on all that shit all the time. What I mean by skimp on food is make your own, right? So you're not really skimping on the quality. You're skimping on what it costs because you're making your own. On care, do what you can yourself. You know what I mean? If you can treat a respiratory issue one pop up, I'm not going to run my snake to the vet because I had a bad shed. I can fix that at home. You know, it doesn't mean you don't do care. Skimp on shipping means I'm going to compete companies for supplies, cost. Okay? What it doesn't mean, non-express. Never do that. But you're telling your customer when you save this, you're more likely to do that. You're telling him you're more likely to do this too, but he ain't going to think about that. And you should be doing that because that is where you can save money in your business. This is where it's okay to be a cheap ass. This is not okay to be a cheap ass. This is not okay to be a cheap ass. Don't do that. Skimp on food would be not okay, would be to underfeed. Don't do that. Don't do that. But you know what? The guy trying to do this is probably more likely to be the guy to skimp on there, right? We're trying to save $1.50 on our sales costs. We're probably trying to save $1.50 here. We're probably trying to save. I once watched a guy, I shit you not, and I will not drop names, but I will tell this story as a matter of fact. He shipped a snake. It was an expensive snake, and it was actually something I helped set up because I didn't know he was going to do this shit. And I don't really, to be blunt, I don't know whose fault it was because there was a couple people involved in doing it, and each one said the other one did it. So I honestly don't know, and I'm not going to name drop either one of them. I can tell you, I don't think it will ever happen again. And what happened was, in an effort to be cheap and save, I think it was $7 or $8. No, it was more than that. They saved like $30. They elected to do 2 days shipping on an animal. They also then elected to reuse an old box and everything else, and some cracked up styrofoam, which why you would do that, I don't know. I mean, you save $37 and you put a big dent in the work you did. Don't do that. That's where you don't be a cheap ass. Buy the new box. Spend that money. I do know there are some people, and Dave, I love you. I'm talking about Dave Kaufman right now. Dave Kaufman did a video a long time ago. He likes reused boxes because he feels it's better for the environment. If you're going to do that, make sure and post that somewhere. Say, hey, we reuse shipping boxes because we believe it's better for the environment in a way of recycling. So as long as they're in good condition, we're going to relabel and reuse them. That would be acceptable. But in general, buy a new box. In general, make sure the styrofoam's good. Always, 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 always buy the express overnight shipping, the most expensive one. When you go and you put that in the Reptile shipping site we use, it's going to give you 4 options. You check the most expensive one, okay? Don't be a cheap ass there and send that out. Don't be a cheap ass in how you charge people. You charge them, you let them pay, you set a fair price. That 1.5% that the card reader is going to take, or 2.5%, is not going to be the end all be all. It's not going to kill you. You need to let that go. If they offer to pay you cash, or if they ask, and if the customer asks, hey, would you prefer me pay cash or card, and you want to say cash, that's fine. They're asking. Where it gets to looking thirsty is when you start trying to drive that conversation, right? Don't do that. If they want to pay by card, just take their money. Take their money, because you may say, they may not say anything, but that may cost you a sale later. Because if you make them feel uncomfortable because they think that, man, this guy's kind of skimping or kind of being cheap or kind of whatnot, you may lose something down the road. Now, I've had people who I knew who have asked me to do that, but I'd also bought 4 or 5 snakes from them. I bought from them all the time. And the first several transactions, we ran it normal. And then they were like, hey, man, you bought a lot of shit. Would you mind doing this? Because, and yeah, I knew them. They were a friend by that point. So it was a little different then. But in general, if I don't know somebody and I'm buying, I'm just going to pay the normal way. When somebody's paying me, I just expect them to pay the normal way. These are cost of doing business. Shipping's expensive. You have to pay credit card fees. You have to pay banking fees. You have to pay for your LLC. These are all things. I think mine might be expired. I need to check it out state. I don't remember getting an email lately. Usually they email me like, hey, you need to renew. I'm trying to think when the last time they did that was. These are all things that you have to do to run your business. Kurt, what are some other things you can think of people cheap out on all too often? Cover all of them, all the cheap ass shit people do.
I don't know, maybe trying to push your litter longer than you should. If the cage gets nasty, just
clean it.
Yeah. The litter.
Sometimes that's not being cheap. Sometimes that's a time thing. But there's a lot of times, like, if it don't pass the smell test, you'll just kind of know upon what kind of litter you use. Just dump the whole thing. Just dump it out, put a new one in, call it good. Don't cheap out on the litter. A lot of people are going to use, like, different kinds of cocoa block. We're going to use a shaved coconut here that we use, the Reptile Prime. You know what? This is all really good shit. Okay, cocoa block, shaved coconut, really good shit. A lot of people use liners. I hate those things, but they're good for some people. But these are a lot more work. You're changing those all the damn time. As long as people are keeping up on them, because they piss in there and just soaks the whole thing. But they will keep up the clean because they're constantly having to do it. So, all that's good. But yeah, don't go like, don't buy the cheapest litter you can, because it's not the best. Get good shit. Get a good deal on it. You know what I mean? Find the guy who's going to sell you the cocoa blocks for the best price. Find the guy who's going to give you the best deal on that. By all means. When I say don't be a cheap ass, what I'm talking about is on the things that present your business. But you shouldn't be a cheap ass in other aspects. You should try to find the best deal on the equipment you can that you want. The best deal on the shipping that you want. Getting the best deal on those things is great. That is where you want to use the Canadian dollars, right? You want to not have to pay as much for, like, getting that box there the same way. It's sent around the same FedEx truck, But where you want to pay with American dollars is when your customer is like, he gets that box, needs to look nice, new, and crisp. He goes to the show, he wants to pay you with a credit card, he needs to be able to do that. All those things need to happen. Some shows will run credit cards for you. Those are awesome. Some you need to have your own reader for. Just make sure you know what you're getting into. Same with online. If I'm going to take money from Morph Market or from selling snakes on Morph Market and they want to pay me through PayPal or Venmo, I don't care if there's a fee. I just don't care. It's part of doing business. That's just how it works. Anything else you want to add, Kurt?
Nope.
All right, guys, so here's what I'm going to tell you. We're going to close it up. Be a cheap ass where you can save money and it doesn't matter. A la shipping company who sells you the same product you want at the best rate, etc. Don't be a cheap ass in what matters to your customer. Treat your customers well. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.